Hello, I'm RetroJules. Welcome to the eagerly anticipated Update 4.7, consisting of new Soviet tanks, new mercenary tanks, head-up display efficiency indicators, new German camo options, an old map returns, tank rebalancing, and various other improvements. So the most exciting part is obviously the introduction of the new Soviet tech tree tanks, the Tier 10 Object 430U Medium, the Tier 10 K91 Medium, the Tier 8 ISM Heavy, the Tier 9 Object 705 Heavy, the Tier 10 Object 705A Heavy, the Tier 9 Object 257 Heavy, the Tier 10 Object 277 Heavy, and finally the Tier 10 Object 268 version 4 Tank Destroyer. Also, there are new mercenary tanks, the Lawgiver, a Tier 4 light tank, the Spyglass, the Tier 6 light tank, Long Bomb, a Tier 5 tank destroyer, Ramrod, a Tier 7 light tank, Centrifuge, a Tier 5 medium tank, Jammer, a Tier 7 medium tank, and at Tier 9, the Hardcase heavy tank. You can also have an option for the head-up display efficiency. In the head-up displays, players can now show indicators that display the total amount of damage dealt, assist damage, and block damage during a battle. Damage dealt will always be displayed, but players will be able to toggle on and off the assist and blocked damage. There are also dynamic loading screens. Loading screens will now dynamically display information that is currently relevant to the player. This includes currently active ops, contract progress, and special information about certain tanks or maps. There are going to be 14 new German camouflage patterns, 2 for winter, 5 for summer, 5 for desert, and 2 for urban. Also, Sacred Valley returns, Sacred Valley Winter, which was the original version of the map. We seem to have got the variant first, which was the war-torn version. If you are keen on your mercenary tank contracts, there is also going to be a buyout option after the contract has expired. If a player is unable to complete their signed contract before it expires, the contract will now stay available for a limited period of time after the expiration to allow the player to buy out the remainder of the contract. Active contracts prior to 4.7 won't have this option. It will only be available to newly available and future contracts. If the current stage the player is on does not allow for a buyout, they will not have this option. And then there are a list of tank rebalances and quite a list of various improvements to the game. I've had a quick flick through the tank rebalancing, and from what I can see, it is all buffs. There is also quite a lot of different improvements to the game. The ones in particular that caught my eye were the updated battle ribbons that have a new look. There is a reduced likelihood of vehicles flipping in various scenarios, and there are new gun sound effects with audio layers that are based on distance that you are from certain tanks and how you hear them. What I'm going to do with this video is I'm going to put a whole list at the end of all the various improvements, because there are also map improvements where spawns have been changed, and of course there's also this list of tank buffs that you may well be interested in. For me, This isn't a bad update actually, and hats off to Wargaming for giving us a heads up and saying, you know, Soviet tanks are coming. It got us all talking, it got us all excited, and I'm a big fan to see new, historically based, whether they're blueprints or whatever, making it into the tech trees for us to unlock and grind. Mercenary tanks, well, if you watch my channel, you know my feeling on mercenary tanks, and that isn't going to change. But for those of you who like to play for the mercenary tanks, there's a good chunk of mercenary tanks for you to now grind. The Lawgiver, Spyglass and Long Bomb are all available now. Ramrod, Centrifuge, Jammer and Hardcase are all coming soon. I have to be honest, I've looked at these tanks and I've shown them to you, and I don't think they're getting any better. Anyway, moving on. Dynamic loading screens. Yes, the loading screen can be a little bit boring. The tank buffs. I don't know if this is undoing a few things that were done in the highly controversial buffs and nerfs of 4.6. I haven't checked through all the figures, but what I did flick through all seem to be buffs. I must admit, the battle ribbons I don't think are as clear, and I struggle with those a little bit. I don't think the figures are that clear on them. It's kind of like white writing on a light background. I did prefer the old ones. I'm a little bit disappointed they haven't changed the capping icon, because when they're both going, I still find them highly confusing. But overall, not a bad little update. I will leave you with the list of tank buffs and all the various other tweaks in the game. Hope you enjoyed the video. Keep safe, keep tanking, and I'll see you soon.